Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you so much for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. Hey, have you been outside today? It's been raining a lot.
What?
Big time rain. Let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas pinpointing whether we're still getting in on it. Looks like we are.
We are, yeah. The good thing is it's not as intense as what it was over the past couple of hours. So earlier today we had the more widespread heavy stuff. Now we have lightning off of our coast, off the Space Coast around Mico and Palm Bay, Indian Harbor Beach. We are watching that get out to sea right now. We have scattered downpours through parts of the Ocala National Forest. These are eventually going to sink closer to the I-4 corridor. So if you're watching in Deltona or DeLand or Orange City, into Sanford, Lake Mary, Heathrow, we will see the opportunity for more scattered showers over the next hour or two before we gradually see things fizzle out. Same things for us in Nobleton, in Bushnell, Coleman, Lake Panasoffkee, and the Villages. We're going to watch these scattered showers continue to work their way down from northwest to southeast. We're at 79 in Mico, 79 at the Cape right now. We're at 81 in New Smyrna, 77 for us in Sanford. Wildwood, good evening. We are at 77 tonight with those scattered showers pushing through for us, and we'll continue to keep those rain chances around for the next couple of hours. Scattered storms still lingering through about 7, 8 o'clock, and then gradually just a stray downpour in the mix for the rest of your Monday evening. We'll show you future radar coming up and talk about the increasing rain chances again for tomorrow in about 15 minutes, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Southern Hill Farms is a popular place known for blueberry picking, its beautiful sunflowers, and its fall festival. But a fire overnight might put a setback on those plans this year.
Yeah, lightning could be to blame for the fire that damaged thousands of dollars in equipment. News 6's Laverne McGee talked to the owners about how this could impact their business.
Generations of families have come here to this farm to pick blueberries or strawberries or enjoy the fall festival. News of this fire has been devastating.
It looks like last night there was a storm that rolled through and we got a direct lightning strike. We thought it was midnight, but it looks like around 8 o'clock, and it took several hours to really ignite. But once it did, it hit our main tractor barn, which is about a 200-foot barn with almost all of our equipment, and it was a total loss. The barn and everything under the barn was consumed by the fire.
Southern Hill Farms owners David and Lisa Hill are fourth-generation farmers and say nothing like this has ever happened to them. Sky 6 took this video from the air showing the barn that housed the equipment still smoldering. If you're driving on Schofield Drive in Claremont past 5 Mile Road, you'll come across the farm where they're well known for their fall festival that will not be affected. Not only is there a financial loss here, there's also sentimental value because there's equipment here from generations past.
Thankfully, for the strawberry season, we've already laid our plastic in our beds, and so that's all done. And our strawberry equipment, most of it was under another barn. So this was just most of our other equipment that it takes to farm everything else. And the blueberries were kind of unscathed.
They told us their equipment is covered by insurance, and they'll replace the equipment once the insurance claim is settled. Laverne McGee, getting results, News 6.
Just horrible news there for Southern Hill Farms. Some really good people. All right, here's a live look now from the Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera. Of course, this is Daytona Beach. A little farther north up here is what we're talking about. Work is officially underway to build a buried seawall along A1A in Ormond by the Sea. We told you about this last week, but the project was delayed for days, you guessed it, because of the weather. It even caused a washout in the shoulder of the road on Friday, which FDOT says this seawall will actually prevent from happening in the future. News 6's Molly Reed takes a closer look at the plans.
Crews are out here officially working now, but they're trying to work around this weather, so they're working in different shifts. Right now, they're adding pavement to the west side of A1A, so there's room to build the wall. FDOT is putting a buried seawall in along the beach and A1A here, running about 1.5 miles long from Marlin Drive to Sunrise Avenue. With big construction on a 2-lane road comes lane closures, though.
So we're expecting really slow business for the next few months.
I think it's going to cause a little bit more with the traffic, but I think it'll be good at the end.
But these are the sites the team at Loggerheads Bar and Grill have also seen close to them. A1A crumbling into the ocean during several storms and smaller washouts taking out the road shoulders and dunes. So while business and traffic might be slow for a bit,
It's been needed for a long time. It needed to be done. I guess the question is, do we want A1A to wash away? Or do we want this to be a spot for the next, 40 years to come?
The next steps are going to be clearing this vegetation and making room for the drill to work. Back in March, FDOT crews started building the first of these 2 walls closer to the Flagler County line. The buried walls will then be covered back up by sand and vegetation. FDOT is aiming to finish the entire project with both walls by summer 2025. I'm told the drill will arrive in a month or so and then start drilling the piles. In Ormond by the Sea, Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed getting results, News 6.
Now at 6:30, it's been more than 6 months since Madeline Soto failed to show up for class at Hunters Creek Middle School. Her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, is now charged with a 13-year-old's murder. And as Stearns awaits trial, News 6 is taking you inside the investigation through an in-depth video series now available on clickorlando.com. Using newly released crime scene photos and witness interviews, News 6 investigator Mike Tavares shows us how law enforcement is trying to get justice for Madeline.
Hello, Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Deputies go door to door in search of missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Hi, have you seen this child? No.
Do you need police, fire, or medical? Police, possibly. I'm reporting a missing child.
On February 26, deputies were called to this office near Soto's school where a relative happens to work.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So, my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it.
Here they met Soto's mother, Jennifer, and Jennifer's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns.
So it's like around where these communities were?
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch.
That night, Stearns showed deputies the spot where he says Madeline got out of his car, a silver Lincoln MKZ. A sheriff's K9 was brought out and given some of Madeline's clothing to sniff in hopes of tracking where she might have gone.
I don't know if she was trying to walk back home on her own or if she was trying to go to her friend's house.
But after 15 minutes of searching, the K9 was unable to pick up Madeline's scent.
So weird. I'm gonna find people, bro. It's your job. It's literally your only job. Finding people.
The first part of our in-depth video series, Justice for Madeline, is now available. You can find it on our website, clickorlando.com. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Camping World Stadium just got the green light from Orlando City Council for $400 million worth of upgrades. That money will be used to upgrade seating and fan experiences. According to the agreement, they plan to add 2,000 seats to the already 63,000-seat stadium. Plans also include modernizing the stadium systems and adding a multi-purpose event center to attract new events. But we want to know what you think. You can open up the camera app in your phone, scan this QR code here, click the link, and that will take you right to our daily poll. So we're asking what kind of events you'd like to see come to Camping World Stadium. You can pick family events, sporting events, concerts. You can also go to clickorlando.com/react and send in your answer that way. Looks like concerts and more sporting events leading the pack.
All right. Well, turning now to a change in animal services care in Seminole County. The county's diversion program halted after an outcry from local animal groups, and apparently it has to do with budget resources. News 6's Catherine Silver spoke to the county about what's going on and where they go from here.
When there's a stray or unwanted animal, they end up here at Animal Services. But that leads to an influx of pets, and the space here isn't endless. So what if there was a different option? That's what the county says their diversion program was designed to do. If someone says they can't afford their pet, maybe giving them food will help. Or if there's a stray in a neighborhood, maybe someone there can foster it. The owner could live nearby. By the numbers, it worked. Since February, they've taken in about 3,000 animals. They took in about 4,000 in the same time frame in 2023 and 2022. So what's not working? Local nonprofits say they're the ones now taking calls and they don't have county resources. So Chris Buchanan with the Animal Rescue Service Tiers, how did this diversion program impact your organization?
So people that normally would go through Seminole County Animal Services are now calling a lot of the rescues, and a lot of us are small. You know, we work on a shoestring budget. We've got limited number of foster homes.
So you're asking for transparency and change?
Yes. Yes.
Multiple nonprofits made the same claims, and they made their voice heard at a recent commission meeting.
We have seen the number of people coming to us who have been turned away.
They're not coming there
there because they can't afford a vaccine, they can't afford food. They are coming there because they have no other choice.
But Seminole County maintains they operate an open shelter.
We're absolutely an open shelter. Just over the last week, we've taken in over 120 animals of all types.
What are the challenges you all face because of that?
Well, you know, in 2020, back in COVID, a lot of people were adopting animals. Runs were free. Today, that doesn't happen very often. Our job is public safety, to make sure the animals are taken care of and the people are taken care of. A lot of times, that's very, very challenging for us.
You all have clearly heard those comments loud and clear. What are the next steps?
We are constantly trying to improve here, and while a program may work in somewhere else, it may not work as well here, or it may need to be tweaked for this particular area, and we're going to continue to try to provide the best type of service that we can for our animals.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. A lot of you clicking on this one. We put together a list of the top 5 flea markets in Central Florida, and that includes Daytona Flea and Farmers Market. You may remember that this one was damaged by a fire back in June of 2020. You can find out where the other 4 are online. All right, the Daytona Farmer and Flea Market. What do they have there?
I guess some good deals.
Fleas?
That stuff.
No.
Oh my God, this is okay. He's here all week, and that's unfortunate.
No, but you do get some good deals. You can find a banging like leather belt for like $5. I mean, it may not be actual leather, but
I mean, you got to do some digging though.
Oh, it requires that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it requires some digging, some other things, maybe
some
some
patience.
cleaning. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Here are some of the other top stories online right now. Longtime residents of Volusia County will likely remember this one. A rare rogue wave hit the coast there just over 30 years ago. For years, scientists had no idea what happened to cause the rogue wave. Find out what they know and what they think caused it to hammer the coast. And lastly, News 6 is going underground, checking out a secret 100-year-old tunnel running right beneath downtown Orlando. You can see the walkthrough right now on clickorlando.com. I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, ditto.
Summer isn't even officially over yet, and some people are already skipping over Thanksgiving and talking about Christmas preps.
That always happens, right? And that includes one local city that says the celebration won't be as grand as it's been in the past. Coming up, why one town says its iconic Christmas parade is being scaled back this year. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. Getting results for all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your Monday evening traffic alert. You're going to see some construction along 417 overnight from about 528 down to about Boggy Creek. These are lane closures that you will encounter, and they wrap up right around about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Same thing out here along the Florida Turnpike and State Road 429, predominantly on 429 as you approach that center point there for the Turnpike. Again, just drive safely. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
All right, taking a live look now over downtown Orlando from the Light Orlando delivering Hope Cam. Not raining right now, but right there at least.
Exactly.
But my goodness, we got plenty, and we've had plenty over the course of, I don't know, the last couple of weeks.
I'm just ready for my lawn to float away.
I know, right?
I don't know. I got several Ring updates for my neighborhood talking about flooding, and it was nonstop. Yeah. They said, oh yeah, we're putting trash cans in front of the roads, on the streets, so people don't go down our road because then it's
wake zone.
The wake zone, exactly.
It's crazy. No, and I said whoa because it's the first time we've seen that in pretty much a week tonight. The Orlando cam where it's not coming down. We at least had it start earlier today. So if you do have evening plans, I have to do a little bit of dodging tonight. But we've at least got rid of most of the thunder involved. So at least there's a positive there. But it is still soggy. We're seeing all that flooding. Of course, the ground is still saturated. Now, we do have an advantage because our soil content, our soil, it's basically sand here, so it drains very easily. But when you have the repeat after repeat heavy rain, it's very, very hard. It's something known as flash flood guidance, and it only takes 1 2 to 3 inch storm per hour to really aggravate that stuff. And we see that pretty much every day here in Florida if you lived here long enough. Scattered showers again continue. We have some downpours coming out of the Ocala National Forest, sliding into Palm Coast, into Bunnell, Marineland. Good evening. Daytona Beach, couple of light sprinkles. It'll pick up in intensity in just a little bit. We have some thunderstorms closer to Spring Hill and Zephyr Hills. We have some scattered showers working their way through parts of Nobleton, Bushnell, into Coleman. Some steadier stuff closer to Point Siena, closer to Deer Park, taking your way down the Florida Turnpike, getting into Yeehaw Junction and Kenansville. It's all on the lighter side. Again, there are still some steady rain downpours out there, but nonetheless, we've gotten rid of the lightning as we were just talking about. There we go as we continue through the evening. Those downpours that we saw around Ocala and south and east of the villages, that's what will eventually dive towards the I-4 corridor, eventually fizzling out for the rest of the evening. There's 7 to 8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Scattered showers around, especially along the coast. Most of us will be dry for your commute into work, though. As we get towards 4 o'clock, note the scattered downpours out there again. We had the cloud cover around that'll help keep temperatures back to the upper 80s again, so still staying muggy, but at least we're not dealing with direct sunlight. 7, 8 o'clock with some scattered thunderstorms around. Again, we're going to keep that going forward as we move towards 10 to 11 o'clock. There we go with another live look in downtown Orlando. As we take a look with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam tonight, showers continue at the airport, but we are dry in downtown, mid-70s for us. The breeze out of the south and east at about 6 miles an hour. We're at 81 in Titusville, 80 in Claremont into Mineola, 80 in Leesburg. Good evening in Kissimmee. We're at 76. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
We're back to the upper 80s in Sanford, 90 tomorrow in Kissimmee into Claremont. Wildwood will touch 88 degrees with the extra clouds and rain around. Tropics starting to heat up pretty much right on schedule here as we head towards the peak of hurricane season. Again, you see the swirl there. This is Francine getting its act together quickly, unfortunately. Now expected to make landfall along the North Gulf Coast, likely Louisiana as we get towards Wednesday afternoon. There's 2 o'clock is at least a Category 2 storm. It's going to fight some drier air as it gets closer to land. However, the next 24 to 36 hours, we could see this thing rapidly intensify if it fends off some drier air that is wrapped in its core now. So we're hoping that that drier air messes with its development over the next 12 to 24 hours to help for it from getting very strong. Hurricane Center also has 2 areas still highlighted out there, 2 tropical waves coming off of Africa. While they do have a decent chance to develop, these look like they are going to bend prior to the Leeward Islands. So some good news all around, of course, always watching it closely. But again, we're watching very closely for our friends in Louisiana. Again, Francine is not coming to Florida. 70% shot for storms tomorrow, 60% chance for rain on Wednesday. We get back up to around 90 Friday and Saturday. Rain chances dip just a touch, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, it seems way too early to be talking about Christmas festivities, but not for the city of Tavares.
So last week, the city council heard from business owners and city staff about how the city's Christmas parade has become too big and it needs to be downsized.
Okay.
Well, News 6's Emily McLeod went to Tavares today to see how they plan to keep Jolly St. Nick on a tighter timeline for this year's parade.
We've heard from the residents, the business owners, and from a certain someone at the North Pole that it's gotten way too long.
There might be a little bit too much Christmas spirit here in Tavares, but we all know that's not true. There's no such thing as too much Christmas spirit, but the city tells us since 2020, they've seen a 60% increase in the number of vehicles in the city's Christmas parade, causing it to go from an hour to an hour and a half to up to 2.5 hours long this past year. In 2020, the parade had 157 vehicles. The 2021 parade had 213 vehicles. In 2022, there were 234 vehicles, and in 2023, the parade had 251 vehicles. Director of Support Services for the City of Tavares, Mark O'Keefe, says businesses in Tavares approached them about the length of the parade this past year.
The business owners approached the directors and the city administration and asked if we could help them. They weren't sure what they wanted, but they knew it was too long.
John Aramino owns Puddle Jumpers in Tavares. He says the massive parade was negatively impacting his business because customers couldn't get to his restaurant.
Some of our parties, we only had half the people show up, so obviously we had some disgruntled customers and clients that, you book a large party for downstairs, 100 people, only 50 show up because nobody wants to wait for the parade.
The City Council recently approved changes to the parade, which include limiting the number of motorized vehicles to 175 and starting the parade at 5 o'clock rather than 5:30. What do you think of the changes that they approved?
I think the changes are great. I think that the city listened to what we had to say, made some adjustments to the schedule and how this is going to go forward. So I think it's going to be really positive impact, and we'll wait and see.
In Tavares, Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
I mean, I was just saying, I think it's a good problem to have. So
Sure.
I know it's a lot.
It is a lot.
But when people want to be a part of something and the community is asking for it, just give the people what they want.
I didn't know it was such a big deal. It is a big deal.
Now we're going to go.
Check it out. All right. Well, still to come, honoring the heroes.
How you can remember the first responders who came to the rescue during the September 11th attacks.
Also had more issues with artificial intelligence, how it fooled a cybersecurity company into hiring a hacker from the other side of the world posing as a software engineer. You're going to want to stick around for that. We're back in 2 minutes. All right, so anyone in a hiring position needs to hear this story here. Last month, a Florida-based IT security company accidentally hired a North Korean hacker who was posing as a Western tech worker.
Yeah, and this week's Schemes and Ripoffs Alert, investigator Louis Golden shows us it's happening more and more.
I think anyone hearing the story at first was a little incredulous.
Roger Grimes is with KnowBe4, a Clearwater-based internet security awareness company that inadvertently hired this man as a software engineer.
Not only did we find this fake employee, but you have to go back and go, hey, do we have any others?
The company reports in a blog on its website it performed background checks, verified references, and conducted 4 video conferences before realizing he was a deep fake.
We're seeing the ability to mask one's identity or masquerade as somebody else becoming much more possible.
Paul Vann and Justin Marciano are the 20-something founders of West Coast-based Identify, a deepfake cybersecurity platform that protects enterprises from cyber threats.
We anticipate a lot of deepfake technology being utilized in these fake job scams going forward.
The picture on the left is the original stock photo. On the right, the AI fake submitted to human resources. So essentially a real person using a valid but stolen US-based identity.
How accessible is this technology?
Insanely.
Yeah, it's a little too accessible.
Vann and Marciano say Identify can create a facial profile of an applicant during an interview and verify their authenticity within minutes. Remember, don't fall for the scheme. Don't get ripped off. Getting results, I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
If the professionals, after 4 interviews, can't figure out that's not a real guy.
You know, I was thinking with AI, it's like if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. But there are so many times where it's like, is it? I don't know. I mean, and then you're taking everything with a grain of salt, and it's just, that's the world we got to live in.
But it's exhausting. It's an exhausting world.
That's
really
what
tired.
it is. Bingo.
All right, let's take you outside now. This is up the East Coast over at New York City. This week marking a pivotal time of remembrance for the deadliest terrorist attack in U.S. history. This Wednesday will be 23 years since the tragic events that unfolded on September 11th, 2001.
And a local gym is inviting you to help them honor the victims with a memorial stair climb. Workout Anytime of Merritt Island and Titusville started their 6th annual memorial stair climbing events this morning. So every year, members of the community, including some local first responders, come out to the gym and then do 110 flights on the stair climber as a way to honor the sacrifices that we will never forget 23 years ago.
It's just a little way for us to help honor those affected by that day. And, you know, a lot of times tragedies happen and we forget them so quickly. So we want to make sure that remembering, you know, those people and all those affected for years to come.
So there are 2 more stair climbing events tomorrow and then Wednesday at 9 a.m. at the Workout Anytime locations. Again, those are in Merritt Island and in Titusville. Non-members can participate with a $10 day pass.
I feel like it's such an important day to remember, and whatever you need to do to say thank you to the first responders, the ones who sacrificed everything on that day, and the ones who continue to sacrifice, because that's what they do every single day.
Right, when you go on the stair climber, you know, it's easy to be like, I'm tired.
And
but
quit.
if you just kind of put yourself in that situation, that might give you a little bit more understanding and also lead to another workout opportunity too. But yeah, it's good to see events like this still carrying on because, it's never
and those guys are young, too,
Yes.
so I'm glad that they're carrying on that tradition. And you can catch Breakfast with Bridget live weekday mornings at 7:30 on the News 6 streaming app for your smart TV and clickorlando.com. All right, I'm going to take my umbrella and get out of here because you probably need it.
Good idea, yeah, for sure. Keep it with you.
All right,
next couple hours.
Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you back at 11. Take care.